Well, guys, she's not much to look at right now, but I love her anyways. For those of you that have been following my channel for a while, you know that I've had a lot of different motorcycles in my life. And this is my latest here, my 2013 Street Glide. And I've had it for about 3 months, but I've had a lot of different types of motorcycles. The bagger now, I've had bobbers, sport bikes, some of the craziest, fastest sport bikes you can ride. And every bike I've had, I've loved for different reasons. When I bought the RSP4 Aprilia, I was really passionate about that bike. It's just an amazing sport bike, the power, the sound. I really enjoyed doing track days on it, but it didn't fit my normal lifestyle. I don't hang out with a bunch of sport bike guys, so it's not like I'd get together in these little groups and ride. Even though it's probably the most amazing machine I've ever ridden, I just wasn't enjoying it enough. And then when I built my Harley Fat Boy Bobber, I loved that bike for what it was. It was a cool machine, not super comfortable, not great for the long haul, but I love the way it looked, I love the way it rode, and that's why I built it. I need a bobber in my life. Then I built the Honda Bobber. That was a bike giveaway, but I put a ton of work in that bike. I built it for a year. I loved riding it, and it was really hard to let go. But once again, it wasn't a bike that I could really, do anything more than just bop around town. I guess you call that bar hopping or whatever. And now here's what I have in my collection here. I got a Suzuki 1000, and I ride this to work every day. This bike right here, this is a 1970 or 1973 CB 350. And that's one of my next project builds. And this is the project I'm building right now. This is a 2004 VFR 800, turning it into a CBR VFR hybrid. If you want to win this bike, go check out the Patreon and sign up. What's my point to all this? My point is I'm not just a Harley guy. I'm passionate about all kinds of motorcycles. So that's where I end up with this Harley touring bike, the Street Glide, the bagger. And honestly, it's just made a huge difference in my life. And I'm going to jump on it right now and take it for a spin and tell you guys why it changed my ride life and maybe how it could change yours too. Alright guys, so if you joined me on my last moto vlog, I was running on fumes. That moto vlog was about choosing the right ape hanger handlebars. So yeah, luckily I remember to put gas in this thing before I take off, unlike last time. Notice I'm using a paper towel on this gas pump. I've always done this because gas pumps are just disgusting. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Oh, there goes the gloves. My goodness. It was really the strangest thing how I ended up with this bike. I mean, it literally, I went from not getting one day, or not even wanting one day, to you know what, I'm gonna get a bagger. Just like that. When it came to baggers, man, I never really gave them a second thought. I mean, they're everywhere, and I used to think on one hand, I'd be like, it must be really nice to have bags, because I'm always just trying to come on, wishing I could take off my gear. If I take off on a ride and it's cold, I'm wearing all my gear, and then it warms up throughout the day, and then I'm melting, and I'm like, man, I wish I could just take off this jacket or whatever, But I thought bobbers, they looked okay, but I was more of a stripped down bike kind of guy, which is why I took my Fat Boy and converted it into a bobber. I'm like, I like the bobber was all the rage for me. It was just weird. I was like, okay, all the bikes that I have in my collection at that time, and I had 6 motorcycles. Oh shit, dude, there's a hole right there. That was crazy. Let me start by saying this, man. I adore my wife to pieces. I love her to death. She's an amazing person. And that had a lot to do with why I got this bike. I just thought, man, every bike I have is just for me. I mean, I can't put her on the back. I can't take her for a ride, essentially, in any level of comfort at all. You sure couldn't put her on the back of that Aprilia. There was no back seat at all. And I'm like, you know what? I want a bike that me and the wife can enjoy together. And it's still a cool enough bike where if I just want to go for a ride with my bros, you know, I don't feel like I'm on some couch. And that's when really what made me decide, okay, I'm gonna get a bagger. Another thing was I was doing rides on the Harley Bobber, and I'd ride that thing for like an hour and I'd just be like, wow man, I'm like hurting. This is not enjoyable. This bike's super cool for bebopping around town, but I can't even ride this thing over an hour without being in pain. But dude, I'd spent 15 years on Harleys getting blasted by the wind and not going on very long rides, and I'm like, okay, something needs to change here. I need a bike made for the long haul. So I always had my eye on the Street Glide. You know, the Harley's got the whole touring series, the Street Glide, the Road King, I don't know, whatever. I'm not totally keen on their whole line, but they have plenty of bikes that are cool, that are made for longer rides. But this is the one that I chose because this is the one I think looks the coolest. No offense, Matt, I know you just bought your 2020 Road Glide, and they're growing on me. They are growing on me. So yeah, that was the reason for buying the bike. I want to ride farther, longer, more comfortable. I want to enjoy having my wife with me. We can, you know, hey, the life has totally changed. Let me give you an example. So it's like, dude, it's like a Wednesday of last week or something like that. And the wife just goes, hey, why don't we jump on the Harley and go grab some dinner? I'm like, right on, dude, let's do it. And it was awesome, dude. We rode about, you know, 25-30 minutes away to our favorite, God, what kind of restaurant it's at? Thai restaurant. And it was awesome, man. It was like a little midweek ride. Wasn't long, wasn't short. Had my little lady with me. And we had a great dinner and jumped on the bike and rode home. I mean, that's one example. I've had this bike like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months, probably 3 months now. When I bought it, it had 32,000 miles on it. Now it's got like 37,000 miles. So that just tells you right there that I'm logging some miles on this bad boy. I've done many, almost 300-mile rides. You know, I wasn't working for 7 months, and me and my brother and our good friend from Sheesh Elementary School, once a week we'd hook up and go on these long rides, and it was just a blast. And I've never enjoyed having a motorcycle as much as that. I would literally leave at 9 in the morning, get home at 6 at night, and the funny thing is, I wasn't even ready to finish riding. I'm like, I'm ready to keep on going. But, you know, the day's ending and they had to get home, and, you know, the wife's cooking dinner. So that's a big part of it. It's as simple as that, going long, riding for just, I mean, I could take this thing across the state with no problem. So that in itself will change your ride life. Let me give you some details about this bike that makes it awesome. I mean, obviously it's got this nice big fairing in front of me that's just blowing the wind around me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still feeling some wind, which is good. I mean, we're on a bike, we want to feel that wind. We're like dogs sticking our head out the window with our tongues flapping in the wind. We want to feel some of that wind. That's part of the freedom. So I am feeling some wind. It ain't like I'm totally out of it, but it's not pounding me in the chest. It's not trying to blow my helmet off like on my sport bikes. So that's a big plus. I mean, the bike's got a radio. Check it out. Here's the volume right here. Yeah. So I can listen to some tunes if I want to, or I can turn them off. You know, I mean, I know you guys can put tunes in your helmet, but you know, you can't really just take a little dial right here and dial the volume up and down that easy. You got to reach up and do it. So it's nice having the music in front of you like this. I don't really play the music a lot though. I'm more about the ride than the music, but you know, freedom of choice, right? I really dig having this cluster of gauges. It just looks cool to me. I know it's not like a big feature or whatever, but it's a cool visual feature. I like having this dash in front of me. I don't know, it's like a feeling of security maybe. The bike also has cruise control, which I've never had my entire ride life, and it works great. All you got to do is, let me get through this stop sign here. So all you do is you reach down here, you flip that switch, and then over here on my right hand, I hope you can see this on the GoPro, I just push this lever to the right. Let's do it. Push that lever to the right, let go. Cruise control. And once again, you know, it's something that you only use, you know, when you're going down a long stretch of highway and you're like, all right, I need a break, my throttle hand needs a break, and you can just let you take your throttle hand off and cruise down the boulevard. So cruise control is bomb. And now I have a big old huge gas tank. I don't know if this thing's 5 gallons or whatever, but you know, when you're coming off a bobber, you know, that thing was like 2.4 gallons, so you really had to be conscious of your ride and where you're going to stop for fuel and all that. So having a big gas tank is definitely an advantage, you know, for the long ride. Now this bike right now has a stock seat on it, and I plan on tossing that. It's okay for me, but it's not the best for the wife, and so I'm going to get an aftermarket seat that's a lot more comfortable for her. And I want to get one for me when I ride by myself where I can slide my butt back and stretch my legs, because this seat, it kind of like locks you in. It's got like a rise in the butt area. It's where you can't scoot back. So I'll be changing the seat like most everybody does on these bikes. But this thing is so comfortable. It's got 14-inch apes on it, and my arms, you know, my hands don't go numb. I don't get a pinch in my shoulder like I used to. I can ride this thing all day and not, you know, have any discomfort at all. I can stretch my legs out, put them, look at how I put them up here on the crash bars. They also have cruiser pegs. You can put them out here. I just don't have any yet. But I'm changing out these crash bars too for a more stylish piece. But see that? You got your running boards, which are just pretty cool to chill your feet right there. And you know, that's part of it, is being able to move your legs. Like, I ride that Suzuki 1000 to work almost every day, and it's about a 40-minute ride, and about 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in, believe it or not, even though it's an upright bike with like moto handlebars on it, my butt starts hurting. I gotta stand up, my knees are binding. You know, granted, my knees are pretty much destroyed from all my motocross days. Still got 3 screws in one of them. It's getting late, huh? Gotta head back toward home with my tinted shield. It's getting dark. Obviously, the saddlebags are one of the top features, man. I mean, I didn't realize how much I'd start using this thing to run errands, because I have bags now. I'll take packages to the post office. Alright guys, we're back. Stupid GoPros, man. What were we talking about? Oh, the bags, the convenience of the bags. I mean, I've literally been like, hey man, I'm just gonna make a grocery store run on this bad boy, and I literally fill up the bags with groceries, and you can fit a lot of groceries in these bags. Of course, the wife loves them. She's got her purse in there, she's got her sweater. It's great because we can put a lunch in there and right up to some point and have lunch. I got drinks in there. I roll with a roll of toilet paper. I don't know how many of you guys do that on your baggers. I mean, come on, man. You're out in the middle of nowhere. Nature calls. You got to take care of business. I haven't had to do it yet, but I just want to be prepared. You can put spare tools in there. That's pretty convenient to have, like a tire repair kit and some necessities. But there's a thing going on right now with baggers, and believe it or not, it's a trend about doing performance baggers, where they're doing lighter wheels on these. They make carbon fiber bodywork. They've always made big boards for these things that you can really boost the horsepower on them, make them haul booty. I'm hoping when I do my build I can hook some of that up too. I want to get a little more power out of this sucker. They're actually doing a bagger race series. It's called the King of the Baggers, and wow, when I first heard about it I was like, wait, really? I thought someone was pulling my leg, but they're actually doing it. There's like 14 teams involved. It was supposed to happen this month. We're in July now, around the 11th, and because of this crap it got postponed. Pushed it back to late October 23rd through the 25th. So I'm definitely going to ride from here to Laguna Seca to go check that out. It's part of the Moto America series, so that will be interesting. And you guys know I just started working for Performance Machine, and we are going to have a race bike in that series. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, just a big old heavy bagger, 800 pound couch going down the road. But yeah, these are heavy bikes, but you know what? When you're riding this thing, I got to tell you, it feels light. It feels way lighter than it is. I'm definitely going to be shaving some weight off this thing with when I do my build. I got some sweet wheels coming for it. The bike is agile, man. It's flickable. You can throw it in the corners. I actually railed the right-hander so hard one time, my right side exhaust hit the ground and it lifted the back end up and kind of kicked it sideways. I was like, whoa. Now, yeah, that was a butt pucker moment. I do love the way the bike handles going down the road. You know, it needs some improvements in the suspension. The back end is sweet, but the front end's junk. We'll get there. We'll get there. Never been back here yet. A buddy of mine moved into these homes, and it's supposed to be pretty sweet back here. What I want to hear in the comments is how many of you guys actually have, you know, diversity in the kind of bikes that you ride. Do you have a Harley and a sport bike, or a bobber, or a cafe bike, or, you know, or are you just strictly like a V-twin guy? Which, nothing wrong with that. A lot of people only got one motorcycle. I've just always had a lot of bikes for years, and it's kind of like, it's funny when I see people with a lot of bikes. I'm like, dang dude, what do you do for a living? And then I'm like, wait a minute, I had 8 motorcycles at one time. And it's not that I'm rich, I just bought them from year to year to year and had them. You know, I had my Fat Boy for 15 years, so you just accumulate bikes over time. And then, you know, when you're building them, I don't know, it's okay up here. I mean, new housing tracks always look kind of funky because the houses all look so barren. Look at this neighborhood. It looks crappy, man. Like, there's no lawns, barely. There's no nice big trees. It just looks like, wow, man, did anybody live up here? For you guys not from California, I'm sure you know the housing market here is out of control. Houses like this, you're looking at 750 grand, easy. Well, I think that's about all I got to say about this bike for now. Like I said, I am doing a massive build on this thing, and I got a lot of companies sponsoring the build. I'm just waiting on almost everything for it. COVID's really put everybody in a tailspin, but looking forward to getting this thing all pimped out and performance up. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Oh, I also want to say, for those of you that saw my birthday video and left a nice comment, really meant a lot, man. I don't really get those kind of comments a lot where people were just supporting me, and we got people all over the world watching my stuff, and guys in their mid-70s watching, and people in their 20s. It's just cool to see all you guys, you know, involved in my channel and supporting it. So thank you for leaving a comment and watching my stuff. Thank you for everybody for hanging out. I'll see you guys next episode.